Lie and cheat on me, then find out you're a wanted scumbag? Enjoy prison. So this happened about 3 years ago and figured it would make a good revenge story. I met a guy while vacationing in California one summer, really nice guy, and he always wanted to do something fun and different every day. From hiking, paintballing, swimming, or going out on the ocean. After the vacation ended we kept in touch, and over the course of the next year we decided I would move to California. I work in healthcare as a nurse, so getting a job almost anywhere isn't tough. Just as the new nurse, your hours are going to be poopy. No surprise, so after we've lived together for a few months and my hours being terrible, they go back to normal hours and we can really spend more time together. I'm not really one to snoop around. He had a safe in the bedroom where we kept basic safe stuff like passports, SS cards, birth certificates, etc. One day I had to produce my birth certificate and had to go into the safe while he wasn't home. I found my birth certificate easily, but next to it was a birth certificate with an entirely different name and DOB than what his was, so I asked him about it and he got super defensive and yelled at me for snooping. Totally out of character for him, as I've never seen him yell before. I still wanted to know WTF, and based on his reaction and the fact I moved to a different state to be with him, I deserved to know if he was hiding anything. A few days later he finally tells me the truth. He used to be married and had twins. This caught me off guard because normally you tell someone you are in a relationship with if you have kids. That doesn't bother me as much as him using a different name than what his real name is. So he decides this is the time to be totally honest with me, tells me he didn't want to pay child support or alimony because she was cheating on him, but he couldn't prove it in court and he believed the kids weren't his, even though he also admitted they did a paternity test and he's the father. So he simply started using his old friend's name and information that he for some reason had after they were college roommates. So many red flags are now flying. Why did he have his roommate's birth certificate and social? He never did answer that, and Googling the name never did turn anything up. Then he decided to admit he's been cheating on me ever since I moved out here, since we are being honest, and he finally could share his life with someone. WTF. So I moved out that very night to sleep on another nurse's couch. He however refused to leave me alone and eventually started to threaten me over the phone. Big mistake, you just admitted to skipping out on child support, alimony, court orders and identity theft. I started looking up his hometown and state, one thing he didn't seem to lie about, and found public records of his divorce and tracked down his ex-wife on Facebook. After she finally responded about a week later, she confirmed from pictures it was him and was really interested in knowing where he was. Turns out he not only skipped out on child support and alimony, but he also stole her car years ago when he left and opened several credit cards in her name before he decided to leave town and was wanted for all of that. I mildly kept in touch with him, telling him I needed time to figure it all out before we could try again. About 2 months later he was arrested and began proceedings to get him transported back to his home state. He did call me from jail for about a week, but I refused to pay for the calls. He then had his attorney contact me, and I told his attorney that if he ever contacted me again I'd call the cops for annoyment. I then started searching his name and everything through his home state's court access site and found out he was sentenced to 6 years for the credit cards, motor vehicle theft, theft of a firearm and several contempt of court charges. I kept in contact with the ex-wife for a bit. She was thankful they finally found him. Also, for a bit more on top, it turns out once he gets out of prison in his home state he will arrested and charged for the stuff that they uncovered and figured out in California over the past few years. Turns out he also did a good amount of credit card fraud out there. So don't threaten to smash someone's face in for breaking up with you if you are committing identity theft and are on the run from child support. Hi guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sounds like you dodged not only a scumbag but a dumbass too. Scumbass? Dumbbag? Vape. The only thing left to do is enjoy California. Yikes. Have you done a credit check on yourself to make sure he didn't do the same to you? I'd also continue to check periodically after he gets out just in case. Thank you for putting that deadbeat in jail instead of letting him end up in someone else's house. 2 birds with 1 stone. You're safe from him and his wife got justice. Being pissed about having to pay alimony is one thing, but child support is another. You bring a kid into the world, you gotta be responsible for them.